All right, guys, welcome back to the Global Gooners Podcast. My name is Muhammad Ali, also known as HTown.ref. You can find me on MA10 TV and back on the Global Gooners Podcast with my man Diego, the
Yes,
man
sir.
who makes it happen over here.
Yes,
And
sir.
the introduction is out of the way and the smile is gone because, my man, what a letdown today, I would have to say, at Villa Park.
Mhm.
I think another team that was sort of in that title talk, and we couldn't come away with the 3 points. Something that was being talked about, how Arsenal has not, taken wins over the likes of Chelsea, City, Liverpool, and now you can add Villa to the list as well.
Yeah.
Diego, how do you want to look at that game? Very different two halves, I would say, but at the end, the result just not what we wanted.
Uh, a lot of things to unpack in this conversation. I'm disappointed. A lot of excuses can be made. Injuries, a whole center backs pairing were not available in the game. But man, that was why we spent the big bucks, spent the big money over in the window. That's why we were claiming that we wanted to build a statue for Beta, because he understood that we're gonna at some point be fixated on the injuries. But at some point we're gonna be short with fatigue and tired legs, and he did the business in the summer. And it's quite disappointing that the games that we typically won last season, we find it difficult, because remember we beat Villa 2-0 at the Villa Park in Birmingham last season. We won Chelsea. No, we drew Chelsea actually. But I think we also won City 5-1. Was it in the Emirates
I mean,
or?
we did. I think we gave Chelsea a thrashing too last season. I think the
No,
five goals against them was last season too, right?
yeah, but then 1-1 at the Stamford Bridge. So that's okay. But then, man, like, you will think that this is the time where we capitalize on the teams that are not doing so well, the likes of Liverpool and City, and just kind of like enhance the gap. And it's very, like you said, a game of two halves. First half was very underwhelming, very disappointing. I honestly wouldn't blame Arteta for his startup. His lineups were, to me, perfect, but it wasn't. It was crazy in the first half. Second half, the changes, like I would hope and expect, because I was calling for Eze to be taken out. And I don't want to even get on his back right now.
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed with him for a lot of reasons. But then second half came, boom, Trossard did his thing. I thought that we are gonna capitalize on that press. We were obviously pressing them, and we had a lot of the ball, and I thought we are gonna make it two and sort of manage the game and see it out. But now, since Sunderland did it, anyone can beat us in the dying minute. So it's crazy, and it was crazy, disappointing.
No, definitely. And I wanted to ask you about those two contrasting halves, obviously, because we saw two things happen actually.
Mhm.
One was that first half was just frantic. We saw, a very, very aggressive Villa. And I wouldn't say that we were not up to it, but we definitely were surprised by the Villa Park environment. I don't know what happens to the Villa Park
Why?
fans when we play them. It's like FA Cup final going on or something. But they definitely came out. It seemed like, unfortunately, it seemed like it's going to be a tough afternoon. And then we go behind, unfortunately. And then the second half comes out, and we, um, to my surprise, Villa just doesn't show up in the second half. They were, not winning the challenges. They were not winning their duels, and we started to, assert ourselves in the game, and we get the goal. Leandro Trossard shout out, another appearance from him, comes out, scores, gets what the manager wants, but we just sit back after that. We don't press the issue after that. It's like we got the equalizer, and in our head we were like, oh, we're not losing the game now, so we can calm down and control the game and build our chances slowly, and then we'll eventually nick a goal or something at the
Yeah.
end, which I don't think was the right approach at all. Because it's Villa Park. They are unbeaten, 15 games now. They're at home, so a great record. They have 5 wins now in a row for Aston Villa, and I don't know why. After getting that 1-1, we just sit back and, I wanted to ask you about that. Like, what players were you looking at in the second half,
Yeah.
thinking that, okay, this is your time to step up? Now we've got the equalizer. The pressure is sort of off us now. Come on, give us, something to take away to our home. But what did you see in those last 20-30 minutes? From what players did you expect more and they didn't deliver?
I expected a lot from everybody on the pitch. That's why you're paid the big bucks. That's why we're one of the highest paid clubs in the world. Like, our wage bill is crazy. Saka, you're demanding $300,000, £300,000 a week, bro. You gotta give me the 300K performance, bro.
Yeah.
And I don't want to pick on him because this is a massive improvement from the last game. But I wanted to talk about something about Arteta, right?
Yep.
Arteta has a tactics, has a game plan. And I understand to an extent what his game plans are. If you notice, when we have possession of the ball, we have our two fullbacks going all like two fullbacks joining Gyökeres like a false nine, leaving the gaps behind. What happens is Declan drops back and maybe Zubi drops back and forms the foreman, back line but see, your tactics is good, but with the right people. You can't be playing high inverted fullbacks with what you call it,
Or
White.
against the right opposition. Maybe Villa was not the right opposition to play that against.
White's decision making in the final third, it's not good enough. So I think his strength is overlapping and crossing the ball or giving the through pass to maybe an Odegaard or Rice, or Saka to kind of like finish up, but expecting him to make the final crazy last minute decision in the opposition box, and he's not going to give it to you. He's going to end up losing the ball and causing for chaos behind goalpost. So that doesn't work. Secondly, Gyökeres came in and he was no show. Martinelli came in for Trossard, who I understand the substitution was a no show. Eze first half was atrocious. The whole team. Lastly, before I let you speak, Hincapi had a great game until the mistake, and I think that's a learning call, learning curve for him. But ultimately, I see one thing I noticed about Teta is he wants to not lose the game.
Yeah.
He pays so much respect to the opposition. He goes to Chelsea, he pays so much respect. He plays against City in our home. He gives so much. Bro, go all out and win the game or lose the game. Whatever. At this point, we can't keep drawing. And so he wanted to draw the game, and that's what happened. Boom, we lost it at the last minute. So it's crazy.
No, I definitely agree on a couple of points there, especially I think in terms of managing that game. Clearly, it seemed like our usual tactical approach to the game of Calafiori sort of playing wherever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
That was not working in this game because we were being left open in the back again and again, and they had the forwards that just take the ball and just go with it. They don't really think much about it. They just ping the ball forward. They see the gap, they play it, boom, boom, boom. We're under trouble. And with the squad depth, I understand we have the injuries right now, but with the options that we have and the versatility in our players, you can easily ask them to maybe be a little bit more safer in the back and let the midfield and attack build the offense a little bit. And they did not.
One thing I also noticed is our counter-attack game is so poor.
It's terrible. Our counter-attacking is shit because I don't know why we have this mentality that, okay, let's build.
Let's build slowly.
No, this is counter-attacking. You don't have to wait for them to come back and regroup and get all your players to make it a 10 versus 10 fair battle. No, just go, and this is a counter-attacking opportunity. Go and hit the spaces, and I see them stop the ball and literally wait for the players to regroup. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I understand our game plan is, building out an attack, not being wasteful of possession and all that type of stuff. But counterattacking is just as important part of the game, like how we're focused on throw-ins and corners.
Yeah.
Let's work on that counter-attacking ability. We definitely have the players that can do it. They have the attributes to counterattack.
Yeah.
Why do we have to resort to just, building out 50 passes towards a goal? I don't understand.
50 passes, and something that I would appreciate Odegaard for was at least he tried to shoot today. The first two shots was abysmal, but the last shot could have, if not for the outrageous save, it would have been a proper worldie. But ultimately, man, it was a very shambolic first half. And
I wanted to ask you, since you mentioned Odegaard, I wanted to ask you about him because
Yeah.
before they scored the goal, he was actually, I think, given the Man of the Match award during the game by the commentator and all that.
Really?
Yeah, and
I would have said Raya because man, he made so many one-on-one saves. Man, those two saves could have easily been behind the net.
I would say Raya had a good shout. I would say Hincapie had a great shout before that,
For that
little
very
error
outrageous.
you would say.
Yeah.
But Odegaard, I was a little surprised because he definitely had a good second half. He was a
Mhm.
lot more influential. He was putting
Yeah.
the balls in, causing a
Mhm.
problem. But
Yeah.
I didn't like the first half performance was not up to the mark at all, in my opinion, for Odegaard. And the
Yeah.
second half, I just saw Villa sort of step off the gas a little, which allowed
Yeah.
him a little bit more freedom.
Yeah.
But I was not convinced, like maybe because I wanted him
Yeah.
to maybe create a little bit more instead of just pinging the ball in, and I know he does well, but create a better chance. There
Yeah.
was another stat that
Mhm.
we usually take most amount of shots
Mhm.
against Unai Emery's Aston Villa. That's a
Mhm.
stat.
Yeah.
Now, if you put that into perspective, that you would assume that, oh, we're making a lot of chances and we're taking a lot of shots, and that's good.
Yeah.
But it's actually that we can create clear-cut chances, so we're just taking shots from outside the box, and that's why that stat lives there. Because looking back at the game, I don't remember us creating great one-on-one chances, but I do remember us taking a
Yeah,
lot of shots
I
from
no,
outside the
no,
box.
I remember one from Saka. If you remember, Saka literally dribbled two defensive players in Aston Villa and just kind of crossed in.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who lost the shot, but I want to say I think we're in dilemma right now as to who our preferred starting 10 is. The two profiles are different. Odegaard will drop deep, will dictate the gameplay. At some point, he will form a back four with maybe maybe Zubi or maybe Hinkapi or somebody, but he's always dropping deep and letting Declan Rice push forward. And that's one of his attributes. The other attribute would be to help you press. He's good at pressing. Versus Eze. Eze can't run for shit. Eze can't press for shit. Eze is waiting to get the ball on his feet and shoot. And I was one of the fans that called for the signing of Eze. I don't think we've found a perfect way to utilize his potential because he has been, to me, and this is going to be very controversial for some of our listeners, I haven't been impressed from the day he wore the shirt till today. Forget about the hat trick against Spurs. Bro, hat trick, it happened that the ball was placed on his feet and he was able to shoot. That's why I like him versus Odegaard that will take so many touches, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of the overall complete abilities of a number 10, Eze hasn't given me something to be excited about. And that's something that a coach has to call him out and start preparing him for success. Because right now, he hasn't impressed me one bit.
No, I would add to that, and I understand why it could be a little controversial, but because when we were signing him, I understand there was a bit of a thing. I think we talked about it on this podcast that do we need him in that number 10 position or do we need a winger? And I was under the impression that our left wing had been dead for years and that we need
He's an
a very
improvement.
clinical and a very direct winger.
Yeah.
And obviously, we got Eze, and people started to say that no, we should play him in Odegaard's place and not the wing. And I was like, no, we need that winger on that left hand side.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for Eze, what hasn't happened is I'm not sure right now what his best position is. I still don't know. I don't think he has done extremely well in that number 10 position.
No.
And on the wing, I mean, you can pick out moments, but I can't really give you a run of games that he has really taken it into stride. And I understand it's a very different team, Arsenal. His role in Palace was, I'm sure, very different. The game probably ran through him
Yeah.
throughout.
Yeah.
And here he has to wait for that moment, the
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah.
But definitely, I think he can do a little bit more than what he's offering right now
Yeah.
on that left hand side. I
I would
definitely
just
agree
say,
with you on that.
yeah, I would just say if you must play Eze on the left, please do not play him against a stronger position who has pacey wingers, whose strength is in counter attack. Just don't play him against the top 10. if you're going to play him in the left. Now,
Yeah.
if you want to start a number 10 and you prefer an Eze profile, start him as a number 10 or push him towards the left or play him as a number 8, but with a lesser output. Like we're going to Club Brugge next week. You can start him as a number 8 or a left wing forward. I'm sure that they're not going to press us like that. We're going to have a lot of the ball, and that's where he thrives, when he has a lot of the ball in possession, right? When
And
he
that's
has
something, yeah.
Eze
No, you're
can,
definitely right. Because here's the thing: game after game, we play so many teams. So many different types of game with different, things behind it. And here's what I'm like. For example, I know you said the lineup you liked it today. I was under the impression that we should play Gyökeres today instead of Marino because Marino has been playing for a long time. He's starting every game. He's finishing those games, and when you have a big squad, I don't think it's a big problem to switch out your striker, which has been playing for 5, 6 since Gyökeres has been out. Marino has been playing every game. After the last 2-3 weeks that he's played, I think today he could have maybe even went with Gyökeres today. I don't know. I feel like when Gyökeres plays, our wingers get a lot more freedom. I think Trossard's goal today was a big. I know Gyökeres wasn't directly involved, but all the defenders' attentions were towards Gyökeres and not Trossard. And he pulls the defenders away from them. Besides that, here's what I really wanted to sort of say regarding this game, and maybe we can wrap up.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, second defeat of the season since Liverpool. I think it's 19 games, all competitions, since we finally lost a game again. Yes, somehow the gap has been shortened to just 3 and 2 points, which I don't understand how, because we've been winning and these teams have been dropping points, but somehow the gap is that short. That is the Premier League. But do you see any reason to panic? Do you see, that, we've got this defeat, and yes, we had the draw earlier and all that type of stuff. I still see this as a negative result, something I think maybe it hurts a little bit more because it's Unai Emery again, it's Aston Villa again. But do you see this result as a cause of concern, or do you think, yes, we lost the game, Aston Villa did play good, move on, or do you think this can have larger implications over the course of the season?
I hope not. The only positive is that we have played we've played 5 tough away fixtures so far. We've played at Anfield, we've played at Old Trafford, played at Stamford Bridge, played at St. James's Park, and now we've played at Villa Park. And we just managed to win 1 and draw 2 and lost, I don't know,
2?
No, we won 2, lost 2, and drew 1, right? So that is out of the way now, right? The other top fixtures, bar Man City, would be at home. So we're only going to the Etihad, and most likely we're going to have a more complete squad. So that is the positive. Another positive is that Man City is going to be flip-flop. They won 3-0 against a Sunderland team. And, of course, Sunderland drew us and I think they won Chelsea. So they are not a walkover, but they won convincingly today. I have faith that the only good thing with Man City is that they have a proper number 9. Even though he didn't get to score today and Foden is on the horizon and Doku is picking form, they are still a flip-flop team. So I expect them to still drop points.
Me too. Yep.
We have a lesser fixture coming. I think the next game, I'm not sure. Don't quote me. I think Wolves. I'm not sure. But I think we have, I think we have Aston Villa again this December. But that's like one of the toughest. We're going to play Crystal Palace too. So
I think it's the end of December, but we have like a few run of games of what you would call winnable games. Yeah.
We must win all those games, including Aston Villa. If this whole PTSD of bottling it doesn't come into full effect. The idea is that we need to win all our games till December 10th. I don't care who the hell we're playing. We must win all those games. And until then, that is when I can boldly look at the table and say, okay, these are the next fixtures in the house. These are the people coming back. By then, we're having Gabriel and Saliba back. And hopefully, we're able to do the job. But right now, I am a bit... I'm heartbroken by the result, but it's not the end of the road. We still have a long way to go.
Definitely agreed. I think we have like 7 more games in December somehow. We have like a quarterfinal in the FA Carabao Cup. We have a Champions League game, and I think we have like 4 more Premier League games. And yes, the start to December was not great, but if we can go to those fixtures and take 3 points from all of those,
Yeah,
and which we should as well. There's not really any fixture there that we shouldn't be winning. If we do that, I think we'll still be in a very healthy position.
absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
heartbreaking that we dropped points today, uh, and I think it's because it adds to the fact that Liverpool, City, Chelsea, now Villa, so the top teams we're not really being able to beat
Yeah.
right now. Don't count Spurs and United as a top team, so I don't really care about those wins like that in that
Yeah.
sort of order. But like
Yeah.
these are the teams that are causing problems right now, I think,
Yeah.
and hopefully when we're at home, when we get all these fixtures in the second half of the season
Yeah.
at home, big advantage to us, I think, in that way. And
Yeah.
hopefully we can walk away with the 3 points. Unfortunately, our lead on the top is less, but we continue. Diego,
Thank you, my brother.
anything you want to add to this?
I just want to say, come on, you Gunners. Let's keep the hope alive. Let's give Arteta this season. Hopefully, he delivers a big, big trophy. I don't care if it's the Premier League or the Champions League. We just need one big trophy out of those two, and that's when we start to
We'll
believe that.
we'll have a separate conversation about trophies. I think that's a
Yes, sir.
whole other conversation. We'll talk
Yes, sir.
about which competitions and all that type of stuff.
Yes,
But
sir.
guys, thank you so much for being with us today at the Global Gooners Podcast. You got to
Yes, sir.
check out my man. I am Diego, right? That's the TikTok.
I am that Diego. And
I
then
am
I'll
the
see
Diego.
you at the end of the video too. And then follow my man, Ali H Town Ref. What's your TikTok, bro? Tell them.
H-Town.ref, guys, check it out on TikTok and Instagram, MA10 TV on YouTube. We will constantly be bringing you guys different content about Arsenal, also about the soccer world in general. So please follow us, support the channel, and come on, you Gunners.
Come on, you Gunners. Let's go again, bro.
Let's go, my man. Let's go. All right, Diego. Nice seeing you, my man.